We are happy to be here today and we are ready to share some creativity and inspiration with you. We are going to work on tiles today and I'm going to repurpose Trish Shaw's technique on Tjhoko Paint. So what I have in front of me is the next. Some normal printed pieces of paper that I've printed with my printer at home. So there's some inspiration. Look how beautiful this is. And here's some neutral Moroccan tiles. Prettier, just beautiful images that's available on the internet for free. What I have done to some of them, and this is the step that I'll be showing next, is to paint them with undiluted glaze. So we are actually going to transfer these images onto painted tile surfaces. So I dip a paintbrush in my glaze, undiluted, and I paint my printed paper, and you will see how it pulls back from the ink, and that's perfectly fine. If that happens, Trish has a lovely video on our YouTube channel where she shows and explains this technique. I just want to share it on tiles today because I think it's something that we can use and repurpose all tiles. So you paint a solid coat onto your printed paper. I have cut off the edge. This is actually a solid piece, so I haven't cut out the insides whatsoever. So make sure you paint everywhere with your glaze. Next, I will wait an hour for the glaze to cure, and then we are going to apply another coat of glaze in the exact same way as I have just done here. While you wait for your glaze to dry, and this is actually something that you can also do beforehand because you need to allow for your paint to cure for at least 4 hours. I have painted Lebos Light onto my tile. So clean the tile firstly well with some lacquer thinners. Allow for the thinners, wash it off with the thinners. Allow for the thinners to evaporate and dry, and then paint a coat. Wait 40 minutes more or less, paint a second coat, and wait for your paint to cure for at least 4 hours before you do the next step. So I have a piece of print, here it is, that I have already glazed previously today with my 2 coats of glaze. My tile has cured, the paint on my tile, for 4 hours, and now I'm going to do the next. I'm just going to make sure that with this one I do the same. I just remove the edge of my excess white paper on this print. Just cut it. Neatly. Nadine. So that there's no white border visible. And now I'm going to do the following. I am going to paint undiluted glaze onto my tile. I'm repeating myself, but the paint has cured for 4 hours. And I paint. So make sure there's glaze everywhere. It can be uneven, it doesn't matter. As long as there's glaze applied everywhere on my tile, because my paper more or less fits nicely onto my tile. Now I turn my picture facing, the print facing the tile. I make sure I position it nicely. And with my hand, I just press it down And next I'm going to use a rubber roller or a brayer. It is available on our website, and you can also inquire from your nearest Tjhoko stockist. And I roll hard. I want to remove any excess air and glaze, and you can just wipe where you press out excess glaze. Make sure if there's glaze on your roller that you remove it, else it will damage the top section of your paper. And you dig in and you roll. If you see that initially it doesn't stick immediately, just allow a few seconds so that the glaze starts drying underneath, and then roll again. And press out all the air. Work from the inside out. Ladies and gents, so if you want to get rid of any winter kilos, you just Tjhoko. You Tjhoko walls, you climb up and down stairs, you carry around Tjhoko bottles. Do it with different colors, because each color actually exercises a different muscle. Work with your brayer, just Tjhoko. And before you know it, you will have the perfect bikini or speedo body. And I am done. Once you have reached this step, you are to reward yourself with a glass of wine or a hot cup of tea, a warm bath and a good night's rest. Because this now needs to rest overnight before we can start with the next step. I have already prepared the next step last night, so let me show you. So here's one that I have rolled on. It has cured, and I'm going to use, you can use a kitchen sponge or a cloth. I have packed the cupboards in my house and my garage. Sorry for those who have missed out, but my garage is now clean. And I have thrown everything away, even my kitchen sponges. I have thrown away. But a mutton cloth, a microfiber cloth, an old piece of t-shirt, any cloth you have at home will work. And I'm wetting my print. And there you can see how you start rolling away the paper. This is a very gentle, time-consuming step, but the reward is absolutely beautiful, and just with normal paper. So what has happened is the ink is now actually transferred onto the surface. This was white paper, but you can see everywhere where there was white, my labels light, the color that I painted my tile in, is now visible. So no white print is visible anywhere. I just want to show you this so that it makes sense. If you look here, there's a lot of white in between the leaves, and even on the one that I have prepared, you can only see labels light. So I just need to remove the last coat of paper still. You can see. There's labels light, there's no white in between. So only the ink remains. Okay, let me continue with this step. So I now just wipe away, and you can even, at certain areas, just remove the paper as well, just to make the removing process quicker. And just water a cloth or a kitchen sponge. something that I would do if I wanted to completely cover this tile. This is a nice repetitive pattern. I would just move it up and add another piece of paper on this side that it looks Moroccan, like a Moroccan complete tile. But how amazing is this?
Ready?
Okay, so this is a process. Be careful when you reach the edges. Work gently. And then when it's dry and you see that more paper needs to be removed, just gently wet more and remove. But can you see how beautiful this is going to be? It is time consuming, it does take time, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I have 2 tiles that I have already done, and I just want to share more inspiration with you. This could have easily be the final step because it is gorgeous. Okay, let me just clean here and show you what we are going to do next, just for added inspiration. I have 2 tiles that I have already done, and just see how gorgeous they are. Absolutely beautiful. And now, of course, you can do it in a color scheme and design that you like. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to share more inspiration. I'm going to work on this leaf one. My printer can only print A4 papers, but I mean, if you can print A3, you will have larger pieces that will fill the entire tile. Something that's important to remember when you print typed out words, make sure you print them in reverse so that it's not a mirror image once it has been transferred, but that you can actually read what it says. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some Stencil of Paris and Frix Forest together, just a tiny bit. Now, Stencil of Paris gives stencil work a raised effect for those that don't know, and Tjhoko grips onto tile surfaces, just not floor tiles. We would never recommend to paint floor tiles or inside a shower, but wall tiles, very important, is to clean your tiles properly with lacquer thinners, especially bathrooms and kitchens, as mold grow on tiles in areas where there's a lot of moisture. Okay, so there's Frix Forest, and I just want to hide the fact that my paper was too small for this stencil. I'm not going to, because I have done this quite recently, put masking tape on my tile. I'm going to mask off on my stencil instead, just to make sure that I only have a border. So I only want to add that border to the edge of my tile. I hold it with my free hand. There's a lot of moving parts, and this stencil really works hard. I love the design. And I scrape my Stencil of Paris that sits rock hard onto my tile and my Tjhoko Paint surface. I actually love the color that we've mixed here. We remove, and there we have some texture onto our tile, and this will be beautiful if you just place these corks at the bottom so that your tile can't scratch a surface, and you can put it in your bathroom with soaps and a small hand towel, or you can put it in your kitchen as serving plates for coffee and rusks. A lovely way of upcycling old tiles. And on the other one, I want to do, so this is a go-to to just stick underneath. It's available from Mr. Price Home. Yeah, that's where I bought those. What color I'm going to mix next, I'm just going to make way. here on my board for the next color. Is I'm going to mix some Stencil of Paris with Asgat. Asgat now has a brother, and the brother's name is Knapi, and I believe Knapi is a very well-behaved brother, like the teenagers in my house. Okay, we are just going to add a little bit of Asgat to our Stencil of Paris. This is a chartreuse green, which is vibrant and colorful and absolutely just adds some excitement to a surface. Also bear in mind, once mixed with the Stencil of Paris, it does dry 2 to 3 shades darker. So you will get more of this vibrancy. Is that a word in English? On your surface, I'm just going to add more, just to make sure. And now you can decide, do you want to add it to your entire surface or only an area? You can even just do stenciling with paint on here, which can also be beautiful. Okay, so let the creative juices flow and just do whatever you like. So I'm actually going to play around with both mediums, stenciling and Stencil of Paris. Okay. And we can maybe play around with both mediums, both the Stencil of Paris and Tjhoko Paint, and I'm just going to use the color Asgat on my stencil brush. I'm playing around. I'm having fun and I'm interchanging between paint and Tjhoko Paint mixed into Stencil of Paris. And we're just going to make sure that the edges are done. And let's remove and see what happened. I will with my finger just remove all the unwanted areas, and how absolutely stunning is this? Now the Stencil of Paris takes between 1 to 2 hours to dry. It all depends on the temperature and the thickness of your application, but once you can't press your fingernail in it anymore, you will know that it has set. And now this is ready to be used. I hope that you are inspired to upcycle things in and around your house. I hope you all are staying warm. Summer is around the corner, everybody. To get those shapes in place, the bodies in place, start chalking. And then we have started our Tjhoko Champs competition. So keep your eyes on our social media pages and also the Taste and Home magazine. And we can't wait to see those entries. Till next week. Bye.